this is the Woolen Viking Tunic by Windlass. It seems to be the, I don't know, quintessential tunic that pretty much every Viking reenactor gets when they first start, or at least a large percentage of us do. This Kyrtle is kind of interesting. I think in its current state, it's better off, for a Halloween project or Halloween costume. So it's fairly affordable, so it's sort of a good, make work project for the beginner to sort of learn how to modify garb and stuff without having to actually, make from scratch. So on the website, it looks like this is some beautiful tablet woven or brocaded or something elements. These are actually made from, kind of feels like nylon, so it's not exactly legit for authenticity. And there's a lot of it. Even the bottom edge of this is trimmed with this stuff. All has to be removed, and you can either use strips of contrasting fabric or preferably tablet woven bands to cover up where this used to be. As for the material, they claim that it's 100% wool. To me, it feels like a blend, but I could be wrong. It's of a weave that could be authentic. It's not so much. It's clearly woven, but it's also felted, which I guess would work because it would be something that somebody would wear for a very long time, and then the fibers would felt together and everything. So, as a piece of garb that looks like it's well worn and everything, it's pretty good. It's not actually sewn together in any real pattern. It's like they cut out the two halves of it and sewed it together. There's no side gores or anything, but also no slits in the sides, so it's not bad, but it's pretty bad. There's no underarm gussets. There's no side. There's no side gores. So don't know what's up with that. So once it's got all this nylon stuff taken off of it, and the proper tablet woven stuff sewn onto it, I would say it's acceptable cheater garb. That it's sort of something that you got on a budget that you're gonna replace at some point. Because not everybody can afford to buy something handmade, and not everybody can afford to learn the skills, buy a sewing machine and everything, and learn the skills that it takes to actually make a Kyrtle up to that standard. And so your garb will evolve with your skills. So if you're just starting out and you want to learn to hand sew, and you have access to finding some tablet woven stuff, or you want to learn a tablet weave before, I would recommend this garb for that. If you want it for LARP or a Halloween costume, and authenticity doesn't really matter to you so much, it's pretty great. It looks acceptable and everything. One other thing that I'd like to mention about it is I'm not a small guy. This is a small, and it fits with a little extra room over a t-shirt. So I think they size it fairly large. But so in the end, it's acceptable for the very, very beginner that once this is replaced. It's also acceptable for people who are just looking for a decent costume, or LARP, or somebody who wants to add a piece of Viking clothing, a piece of modernized Viking clothing to their wardrobe. So, but it's just funny to me that this is the piece of garb that pretty much everyone gets when they're starting out, and it's sort of been called that gray tunic by everybody that I know. They're all just like, yep, I have that one. And most people don't wear it past a certain point. They get something better fairly quickly. Other people modify it and use it as extra secondary garb, and then they get better things. So authenticity-wise, it sucks. It's all one piece, or it's two pieces sewn together, or one piece that's just folded over because there's no seam across the top on the shoulders. So they basically made a big T-shaped piece of fabric, sewed it together. So before anybody mentions it, because I know somebody probably will eventually, that the process of fullering the cloth to close the fibers and everything does sort of felt it, but this is almost as felted as the wool of my U.S. Navy pea coat. So it's a little more than just fullered. So that's just my thoughts on this. Thank you for watching. I will post a link, I guess, down below if anybody's interested. And if you like what you see, don't hesitate to like and subscribe. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Thank you very much.